Hey guys, you want to have some fun on these deadly roller coasters during new forms within Kremland or Kremland for anything else for that resides? I would have thought so. Hey, what is up everyone? I'm Piglet here once again and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, or Donkey Kong Country 2 as what it's known, for the Super Nintendo / Game Boy Advance. So last time we have basically gathered every single of those, not only DK Hero coins, but also we managed to find every single of those bonus rooms in Kremland, which either way though, despite we did have some bit of troubles here and there, but apart from those side of things though, we did that had a good time on that run. So either way, today for this episode is the fact that we're going to be hit on to World 4, which appears to be Krazy Kremland, and to begin with, we're about to be hit on to Hornet Hall. And basically, this entire level is going to take place in the actual hive. So either way though, it's very cool, especially noticeable that was before when Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 was a thing. Then obviously they were able to actually introduce the forms of Honey Hive Galaxy and stuff like that. So either way, for this entire level like this, especially noticeable, I think there were about 2 of these, I'm pretty dang sure. But either way though, before we get onto those kinds of stuff, however though, as usual, we have to find the bonus room, which the first one is pretty obvious, is the fact that we need to go onto those sticky honey walls, as you can clearly see on screen. And as a result, in order to be able to decide to jump off the actual honey walls, because if you're somehow trying to move any sort of directions, you're basically stuck. So yeah, in order to be able to actually get out of the actual honey wall, that you have to specifically try to jump and press the directional pad up. I'm pursuing for this matter though, but it's hard to explain about this sometimes, just because, well, usually relatively speaking, it's been about quite a few days since actually coming back to this since last Friday. So either way, before we get on to the continuation of the level, however though, there's another bonus area within the same place as before, but except it's even a lot higher than the likes of how it does it on the first bonus area. So either way though, it basically is how to like, you know, just trying to take down the Ziggies while at the same time trying to carry that treasure chest around us, and as a result, whenever we do a lot of damage on the forms of that particular treasure chest to behold, then we should probably get ourselves the Krem coin. So either way though, looks like we've almost at the 40 Krem coins mark pursuing for this point. So either way though, and as a result, then yeah, well, basically we pretty much guarantee we can able to get onto the halfway point in terms of the forms of, not only for the entire game itself, but also in terms of the forms of the Krem coins that we can able to get. So either way, and I think the highest amount of those Krem coins that you have to specifically to collect, that is definitely by the forms of, well, to be more specifically, 75 of them, because if you collect them all, then you would able to actually access to something that is usually kind of rewarding, if I like to say so for this point. So either way though, let's just go ahead and be very careful not to get hit by those Ziggies right here, including these very annoying porcupine enemies that I swear to god, I was having a hard time with these guys sometimes. Especially noticeable, I managed to play this on my own time on the Game Boy Advance version, and most of the time there was some bit of strategy involved by dealing with these guys in particular, by simply able to just only perform a roll attack, and that's pretty much about it. So either way though, you get the idea for that point. Alright, so as you can see right here, we got ourselves the Squirky or Squidturd the Spider returning ever since during the forms within the third world, and basically we need to use him for not only by the forms of the third and the final bonus area, but also we need to use him also by the forms of the requirements to get the glorious DK Hero coin. So either way though, we can expect this much. So either way, I can assure you is the fact that the differences between this game along with Donkey Kong Land 2, that in Donkey Kong Land 2 only features 7 levels, probably because it has a lot more emphasis on, well, we'll point it out whenever we get onto that particular level coming up, but either way, in this game's case, that we only got ourselves about 6 levels. So, yeah, I just want to classify that because we've already come across into Bramble Blast ever since in the 3rd world, but then again, we'll discuss more about it until then. So anyways, let's go ahead and take down most of these enemies here, and we need to go down here and take down more stickies from here, and in that way we can able to not only just trying to go bypass them, or even in this case just trying to, you know, just trying to kill them basically. But also, if we try to create some more platforms, then there you go, we got ourselves a DK hero coin. So that's pretty much all we can usually just try to think about it. Thankfully, the squitter is not usually affected on the forms of the sticky honey for this sort of thing. And yeah, that's all cool stuff. Oh jeez, that was really close. I almost gonna get myself screwed over by that, you know, specific segment worth noting for, because if I somehow manage to let Squitter go away, then I probably won't get a chance to get myself into, you know, the 3rd and the final bonus area on this level. So, but you know, you get the idea at this point, and once again we need to create some more spiderweb platforms until whenever we reach to the top, and especially noticeable we can able to just obtain the Krem coin itself. So even then though, we're now on the 40 Krem coins mark right now, so I think we've actually got about 35 of them left until we're able to actually just to gather them all. So we can expect this much. So either way though, it's gonna take a while for this point, guys. It is definitely gonna take a while. So yeah, you get the idea for that point. Let's go ahead and deal with this particular guy here, and hopefully we shouldn't have that much trouble with as far as this point goes. So anywho, let's go ahead and go from here, and just be very careful because I could assure you it contains a bottomless pit down there, so we have to be very precise on that part, because if you somehow mess things up with the footing and everything, then you might as well guarantee you can able to actually just stall over where your checkpoint is. So, but you know, you get the idea. But then again, the good thing about with the forms of trying to find every single portions of some of these levels in Donkey Kong Country games, I'm presuming so for this matter, that your progress will be saved, especially noticeable if you found every single of those bonus areas, and especially noticeable with the DK coins locations. So, you get the idea for that point. So there we go, that concludes Hornet Hall. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting level, but eventually we'll get back onto that level again at some point by the end of the world, because after we go through all that stuff though, first of all, let me just save the game here. And how much progression we on? 44%, so yeah, looks like we're pretty much almost at the halfway point of this already. So, geez, I can't even believe that we're actually getting quite breezing for this point. So yeah, as you can see, we're now going to be interacting with the forms of the coolest part about this world, which appears to be the Kremland itself, which meaning about the fact that we have to come across into a lot of roller coaster attractions or anything else for that resides, and yeah, that's as far as we can usually say about it. So as you can see on this next level, speaking of which, is the fact that here we go with Tarkin Terra. And I believe this level is entirely based off from the minecart levels from the previous Donkey Kong Country game, specifically the original Donkey Kong Country. It plays pretty much exactly the same stuff as before, minus the only exception is, of course, it might actually act out for pretty much exactly the same, as you remember from the likes of one of those minecart levels at the end in the original game specifically. They can able to actually jump off the actual roller coaster contraption. And that way, you can able to actually just to guarantee you can able to reach certain areas and stuff like that. So, now presuming that this level actually contains 2 bonus areas. So the one we've already found, which is right about now, and the second one is going to be towards at the end. So even then, we can expect this much. So, because basically in this portion right there, we need to basically take down all of these Ziggies right here. And then after we've done so already, then obviously the actual Krem coin will be rewarded. So even then, 41. So yeah, it's not too bad. So yeah, aside from all that stuff though, it's the fact that recently today's day is the forms of the 10th of August today in 2020. So in this case, we're pretty much almost at the halfway point in August already, despite the fact that we pretty much at the, I would say in the halfway point of this Let's Play already, if only if the fact that if depending on how long this Let's Play will take, because either way though, we'll talk more about it whenever we get onto the future points, or the future parts of this Let's Play in general. So yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, as you can see, we've obtained the DK hero coin while simply able to jump at the right time when the actual planks of wood managed to able to cover up the screen, which if you time your jump correctly, then you would able to obtain that. So, and the second and the final bonus area on this stage is the fact that we need to go to the bottom route, so that way you can able to actually access to this particular point. And then if you make it towards the end, then obviously you will reward yourself a Krem coin. So, how's that for that? And also we got ourselves an extra life. So, how's that for that one too? Now, presumably we're almost at the 50 lives count at the moment, so at least even then we can expect we can able to get some of those extra lives in between. Oh, by the way, the main emphasis on this stage, as you can see right there, that one thing I totally forgot to mention, is these checked barrels and X barrels. Every time you're able to go past for those little gates, the only barrels you always have to hit is, of course, the green tick barrels. And then if you do manage to touch one of them, then you weren't able to actually continually to be safe. If you accidentally manage to touch the cross barrels, then otherwise you're able to lose your Kong, or if you either become single, this means that you would able to lose a life, so you just have to be very cautious with that. Especially with your good timing, jumps or what have you, so that level's not too bad. Alright, so the next level we have right here, we're about to be returning back into the forms of that Bramble world environment, as you can see right there, but this time around it's now called a Bramble Scramble, which, as far as the name suggests, we need to go through a serious amount of brambles, as you can see, again. However though, as you can see, we did manage to able to get ourselves the invincibility barrel, and because of that, this stage only has one bonus area, and that's about it. Because the majority of the level is going to be most likely focusing on, I would say using Skorks for the whole entire time, but even then, we'll discuss more about it whenever we are focusing on that specific stuff for this matter. So either way though, let's go ahead and once again collect some of these stars again, so even then there are about 40 of them to collect, so we can at least expect something out of it. So either way though, but then again, if you mess up completely, especially noticeable if you accidentally got hit by those zingers, especially with these brambles, then you would get kicked out of the bonus area. So either way though, let's be very careful around here, especially noticeable, not only do we get ourselves our glorious Krem coin, but also that banana coin to top it off too. And then we immediately add the forms of the Skorks the Parrot segment right now, so even then though, we can able to do some more flying. So yeah, you get the idea for that point. So either way, let's go ahead and just speed things up a little bit so we can able to actually not become super slow or anything like that. So at least we can able to actually expect that. And before we continue, let's go ahead and grab the actual optional area, specifically with the bananas and banana coin. Well, there's only one of them in particular. Oh jeez, okay. That was really close for a moment ago, because either way, the only trickiest part about this level in particular is the fact that some of these enemy encounters were able to try to strike you most of the time, especially specifically with those whole bunch of Ziggies everywhere. Actually, let's let that one just fly by and go down, and we need to be very careful around here because we really don't mess things up completely, especially with those, just tricky enemy patterns here and there, but luckily we managed to still live even to this day for this level though, which is quite frankly, it's pretty cool stuff. And also let's not forget about this guy here, so even then we can able to easily take him down. And unfortunately I've managed to accidentally lost Diddy Kong, probably because I wasn't paying attention, plus because I keep an always check of defaults of some of these areas I've always attempted missing on something. So, well, hopefully we'll able to make it not so happening for this point, because even then we pretty much gonna have to still guarantee to able to achieve 102% of this game. So either way though, let's go ahead and just let this projectile just go back towards him. There's no point getting those banana coins honestly, because otherwise I'll end up getting a risk assessment. So yeah, you don't want to let that happen, don't you? Anyways, let's go ahead and grab the DK. Ah, dang it! I did not notice that. Oh jeez. And I'm once again being so hasty again. Oh wait, kind of thinking about it though, since I actually accessed that checkpoint, oh yes, there's a DK coin somewhere on the right, meaning I can able to climb down and then just hit onto here, roll jump as soon as you can, and once again we need to take control of the squitter, the spider once again, so we can able to create some more platforms, and eventually, whenever you go onto that specific point, which is, well, I would say specifically when you see that banana right here on that particularly between those leaves, as you can see for those brambles, we can able to actually go through that. So yeah, we can able to get ourselves our glorious DK hero coin. So yeah, I think we pretty much guarantee we can able to actually do it just fine. I know it's definitely the exit pad around here, but unfortunately I'm pretty much trapped, so oh well, no big deal. At least we can able to actually go back into where the checkpoint is, and plus everything else will be still be super safe at this point. So yeah, you get the idea for that point. So anyways, let's go back onto this normal path, and eventually we'll try to able to actually be very cautious this time around. So at least I'm hoping so anyway though. So either way though, let's go ahead and try to carefully just trying to able to jump over those cannonballs, as you can see by this enemy right here, and make sure we don't get ourselves our infamous knockback by those beetle looking enemies. And yeah, everything's all comes together for this point. So yeah, I think for the most part, for the majority of this stage, is the fact that we need to get a lot of usage on that Squirks the Parrot, as you can see, so that way we can able to actually just to fly through, basically for every single obstacles or anything like that. So yeah, you get the idea for that point. So then again, there's not much else I can talk about, sadly, just because of how the fact that, well, we've already mentioned about few news updates or anything like that since the past few months or so, probably due to the fact that, well, with you know, the stupid terrible coronavirus issue was still a thing, but either way though, that's besides the point right there. So anywho though, yeah, then again, there's not much else I can say. So, oh jeez, that was really close. Of course, Neckies are back, and you know how much I actually despise them, despite how the fact that I could able to actually just expect that I can able to instantly just try to dodge them with a quickest movement as possible. Oh jeez, okay. We're almost there for this point right now, it's just that we're actually on... Oh, really? Okay, whatever. At least we got to the end anyway, though, so even then, we'll take an extra life. And that should lead us back onto 50 extra lives. Well, technically 51, so even then I just want to classify that, so... Yeah, we now actually access to Funky's flights too, but let's not get ahead of ourselves for this point just yet, because now we're going to be moving on to Rackety Race, which... if I could expect correctly, it's more likely a continuation of the exact same level as we've already done since Tarkin Terra, except with this one cool little gimmick, or in this case that one particular element about the title of the level suggests. Well, before we get onto that however though, this stage only has one bonus area, so either way though, and it's actually from the very beginning. And we need to able to utilize with the throwing adjustment kind of technique, and then also just use Dixie Kong or Diddy Kong to able to actually roll and jump at the same time, so that way we can able to just go from here, and then that way we can able to just find ourselves the only bonus area in this entire level, and that way all we have to do is just basically just deal with all the enemies basically. Alright, so let's get into the actual main level itself. Basically, in order to be able to actually get ourselves the DK Hero Coin, is that we need to take down all of those players during the forms of the actual race, which meaning that there's going to be a lot of emphasis on like trickier timing jumps and what have you, but as long as you don't slow down, and then as a result, then you would be able to actually guarantee you can not only just try to take most of these players down, but also just trying to get yourselves a DK Hero Coin. Something's worth mentioning also is the fact that if you ever played this on the Super Nintendo version, that every single aspect of the entire environment, as you can see, is in nighttime, which to me is pretty cool to look at, especially you can see those entire fireworks in the background, and seriously, I just really love this theme so much. In fact, out of all the actual worlds in this game offers us to, this one is by far one of my favorite worlds in the game, probably because I just had a lot more fun, have some fun kinds of stuff like this. I have no idea what I'm trying to say for that point right there, just because it's hard to explain about it sometimes. But either way though, I just really love the sense of like energetic stuff, specifically the roller coaster sequences, and especially noticeable for the entire environment. It's so vibrant to me though. But I digress. So anyways, let's go ahead and take down this last player, and we got ourselves the 20th hero coin. So I think, fundamentally speaking, we're now onto the halfway point on the actual hero coins department. So either way though, because as a result, I'm pretty sure in order to be able to actually collect every single DK coins, I think there are about 40 of them in total. So we can expect this much for how much DK coins that we're about to be able to find around in this entire whole thing. So either way though, that's pretty much about it. And now since we're done in here, we can now able to go onto the exit part during forms within Kremland and head back onto the beginning portion of the map again. And now we're going to be taking on the forms of the next level, which appears to be Mudhole Moss, or Moss, as far as I like to say. And once again, we're about to be heading back onto a swamp-themed level. And I believe in this stage, alongside with the forms of, well, I would say the DK coin is going to be at the very end of the level, specifically on the goal sequence, which even then we'll talk more about it as soon as we get along. And also we managed to introduce into ourselves these new types of enemies, although I'll explain more about those later. I believe in this stage only contains 2 bonus areas, and that could be also same applies for the next level after this, so yeah, at least I can able to notice the actual knowledge or something like that, so alright, so let's dodge a lot more of those neckies here. Seriously, I just really hate those necky enemies sometimes because they're just always trying to get to me. But I digress. So yeah, we actually introduced into ourselves these new types of enemies in this this particular level, and that would have to be by the forms of Kato 9 Tails. Meaning about the fact that it's kind of a weird enemy design to me though, even though that he was first appeared on that specific stage alone, because well, we'll get to more about it whenever we get onto the later stages and beyond. But first of all, let's go and actually access to that the first bonus area, which you can either just manage to stomp on the enemy, just do a little bit of a jump bounce in order to reach it, or my personal favorite is to try to able to toss you know, Diddy Kong or Dixie Kong to able to actually just try to decide to go ahead and reach upwards. So it's all pretty swell if I have to say so for this point. But then again, if you accidentally fall off, then you're obviously going to get yourselves kicked out of the actual bonus area, as you can tell. A good thing the checkpoint is right there after we're able to take on, you know, that bonus area that we've already done. So even then we can expect this much. And this is where the level itself starts to get a little bit tricky, because every now and then now is the fact that that particular enemy that we already saw, that he now starts to be firing too many emphasis on barrels, and meaning about the fact that we need to, oh, speaking of such, we have a cannonball. And I think we need to once again trying to carry the cannonball itself to the actual cannon. In that way, we should able to expect that leads us to the bonus area itself. So at least even then, we could at least, you know, do the usual, trying to do some more throwing and what have you, specifically the cannonballs, as you can see. Or as in Dixie Kong's case, whenever you're trying to deal with those 2 dragonfly-looking enemies, then you can able to actually decide to defend yourself from doing so. So even then, that's the only technique I always attempt to adore the most, especially noticeable how the fact that defending yourself was always a key factor in my opinion. So but anyways though, let's go ahead and continue things on here, and well, seemingly to say, we pretty much found every single bonus areas in this entire level, so not bad and not too shabby either. So either way, let's go ahead and just try to able to dodge a lot of enemies, especially with Kato 9 Tails, and hopefully we probably should go ahead and deal with these barrel bouncing maneuvering, and just try to open them to here, and then when we get to actually onto the end, there's a DK coin here. But here's the thing though, we need to get a little bit of a higher height before you're able to get yourselves a DK coin, because otherwise, if you do some small jumps, well, you're probably not going to get it. Or if you time it at the wrong time, then you might get a different reward, like the banana coin and extra life or anything like that. But luckily for me, I managed to able to accomplish that no problem, so that's how it goes, hey? Alright, so the next level, as you can see, for the sake of this world, we are once again heading back onto the Hive level theme, as you can see right there. But except this time around, the level is called Rambly Rumble, which, as far as I can usually expect, that I'm pretty sure this level is going to be has a huge emphasis on, I would say, Rambly, to able to actually get a lot of usage of this level. So that's as far as I can say about this for the most part. Now, I'm pretty sure this level contains 2 bonus areas, if I could expect something like this. So hopefully we should be able to actually just to find some of them around here. Especially noticeable how the fact that, well, after trying to dodging those, a lot of those zingers, as you can see. Even though, I will admit though right away, is that the Super Nintendo version does feel a little bit difficult when it comes to dodging a lot of zingers, because unlike the Game Boy Advance version, which I still managed to play it on my own time, and after looking it back, that I just somehow realized is the fact that I found that particular version is much easier than this version is. Because I don't know, something about the camera angle on that particular point does occurs to me to able to actually have a lot of, you know, frustration dev situations or something like that. Actually, before we head on, I actually somehow missed out on that particular bonus area on that particular area right here. In fact, we'll try to go ahead and just reach to it. Oh, really? Ah, dang it! Oh wow, that was the longest drop. I've never actually seen that long drop before. Oh jeez, I did not notice that. Oh well, we'll try this again, and hopefully we should be able to actually just try to, you know, carefully try to time our jumps or what have you. And hopefully we would be able to actually just find it no matter what. And I get a feeling that we have to get onto that sticky honey wall just on the top. And that way we can able to, yep, it leads us to the bonus area itself. And basically we need to find a coin itself. So even then though, once again we have to do the same thing, except, well, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on, well, it almost kind of reminds me of something related to, well, I would say in Super Metroid almost, when you're trying to stock onto the forms of, or in this case just trying to perform the actual wall jumping ability or something. And there goes my another extra life, but this time around though, the lack of jump perception, so... But once again, that was such a long drop from here. Luckily though, at least I managed to get myself my glorious checkpoint right there, so at least I don't have to worry about this too much. But, oh god, these enemies right there, they always screw me up, especially noticeable whenever we get onto the later levels throughout the whole thing. But even then though, we'll get to that eventually, so... Anyways, there's a hero coin right there. Just got to either use Diddy Kong's roll jump, or you can able to utilize the Dixie's, you know, ponytail maneuvering, and that way we can able to actually obtain the DK coin. But you know, you get the drill for that point. So, and obviously in the second half of this stage, as you can see, we're now going to be taking control of Rambly. And what can we do with it? Well, we can either go to the left from the very, like, some situations worth noting for. But if we go continuously all the way going downwards, then, oh my goodness gracious, we're getting chased by that giant zinger. And even then, we need to just run away. And because we need to run away as fast as possible, and that means that if you go all the way towards the end, we might able to come across into ourselves the second and the final bonus area on this stage. And basically we need to charge it all up with the actual Rambly's charge attack, and that way it'll bust out of the wall, and then that way we're able to actually get into the bonus area itself. So even then though, we need to defeat a lot of enemies here, and then after we've done so already, then the Krem coin will be rewarded and keep. So even then though, well, unless if we're trying to able to use it for something else for that matter. So either way though, we've got, you know, 48 Krem coins at the moment, and yeah, let's take these banana bunch, and let's see what rewards we can get. Another banana bunch. So yeah, that's all I can really dealt it for anyway. So either way though, that's pretty much about it. And now let's move on to the next boss, which appears to be, well, I just need to double check if there's anything else I was missing. Nope. Okay, so here we go with King Zing, or King Sting Zing, or Sting, whatever you want to call it. So the entire boss battle plays out pretty differently compared to the forms of how it does on the previous boss fights in the whole entire game, including Donkey Kong Country, the original game. That rather than like using Diddy Kong or Dixie Kong to deal with this battle, this entire battle is all about using Squawks the Parrot in order to be able to deal with this boss, which is of course King Sting Sting, which basically this entire battle is pretty simple if you get the hang of it though, but it's also the point where the boss fights get significantly harder as you progress, and as a result, you have to like aim the actual projectile, or in this case just try to shoot the projectile right at the forms of that the bottom part of the zinger. As you can see what that red thing is flashing, that actually represents his weak spot. And if you try to deal with that for about 6 hits, if you think he was done, well, it turns out he's not done yet, because much like I would say, well, basically you just have to take down his shield, as you can see right there. And after when you've done so already, it's just a usual 1-on-1 against with the zinger, as you can see. And then basically we need to hit him for about 3 more times, and then when you've done so already, then he'll be toasted. And there we go. Pretty self-explanatory, despite how tricky and difficult that boss can be sometimes. But either way though, we've now got 49 Krem coins. So, how's that for that? So, I guess, for that sake of time, I think we should probably just go ahead and end things off at this point right there. So join me next time on Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, and now is the fact that we're going to be hit on to Gloomy Gulch, which appears to be World 5, so I bet this might actually be the hardest world so far. So see you guys on Wednesday. Later, fellas.